Hey everybody, welcome back to GallupBuilt. Thank you for stopping by and checking out this video. Thank you for checking out my channel. In this video, I'm going to get some work done on one of the trucks owned by one of the guys that works for the owner of the shop. And I'm also going to get a lot of work done on this one. So during this video, I'm doing a lot of the work on the HVAC unit, like working on the defroster and the heater box under the dash, as well as the heater controls that I was supposed to get to in the last video. So that's what I'll be taking care of in this video. So thank you guys for stopping by and checking out this video. I hope you enjoy it. So we've got a media blaster and it's leaking. So I'm taking this apart. I'm going to seal it all up and put it all back together. We're going to work on one of the rides today for one of the guys that works here because he needs it to go back and forth to Albuquerque. So that's what we're going to be doing as soon as the shop clears out. But for right now, this is what we're doing. So today I've got this 2013 Ram, and I think I gotta do thermostat on this and thermostat housing. Yep. Thermostat. Looks like water temp sensor. Yes. Here's the little media blaster. This is all sealed up, so now we're going to seal this part, the handle. Now it's all put back together. Looks like it's just a bad wire. After the wheel came off and the liner came off, that is how we gain access to the water temp sensor right there. And even though that's not the problem, we're going to change that. This is the problem right here. Yeah, I'm going to pull this out and repin it, I guess. I had a problem looking for the coolant temperature sensor. I even looked online, couldn't find a location. So when I started poking around, the reason why I couldn't find a location is because it was tucked way back there. The coolant temp sensor is located on the head, on the driver's side toward the back there. It seemed like it was hard to access with the brake booster in the way and the bracket for the intake manifold. I took the wheel off, and when this fender liner was removed, then I was able to access this temp sensor no problem. The problem with this one wasn't really the sensor though, it was actually the pigtail that is on there. There's a heat shield that goes around this, and that is why it's hard to see. We had a problem with one of the wires. A new pigtail for it is on the way, so I'm gonna put this all back together. You can see right here where I cut it, and I'm just gonna splice in a new one. It turned out to be pretty simple access after all. When at first I thought it was going to be a problem. Let's try this out, shall we? What the? I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. Crap. How is this working? Man, this is coming out kind of cool. I like this. This is the heat shield that was on that sensor. That's why we couldn't find it in the first place. I finally got the heater system taken out of that. I've got it right here. This box, there's a long extension to this box that normally goes right here. back in the 60s, they came with this kind of a felt that was hard, and that one gets really old. So this one is a new one from CJ Pony Parts, which is the Mustang place where we get all this stuff. And this is a CJ Mustang. So this is the newer piece that's hard plastic, and this will mount right here, and then it'll go back under the dash like that. The firewall sits right here, and it comes in right here, which is the reason why I couldn't put this on while it was in the car. And there are these two screws right here. There are also two underneath it on this side. So those I definitely couldn't get while it was still in the car. Also gives me a good chance to clean all of this up and under the dash. All right, I got this defroster end. It's not connected yet, but it's sitting on there pretty snug. And these CJ Pony parts that we get, they actually line up really good. So this plastic part is aftermarket, and this is the factory heater blower motor from 1966. The bolts line up, the screw holes line up pretty good on this side. It was a snug fit too, so it's not loose or wobbly. And you can see the bolt holes line up on this side too, or the screw holes. So I'm going to put them back in. Just these. Doesn't look too bad. Not only is this new piece added, but the rest of this is clean. Yeah, this will look a lot better under the dash. I'm gonna sweep all this, vacuum it, and probably wipe it down just so it's clean when I put the heater box back in. This is all of what's left of the defroster box, the felt stuff. Cool. I cleaned it all up, wiped it all down. Now it's ready for that heater box. I've got these cables labeled. Now I'm going to put this back under the dash. Okay, I've got it fitted in there, and I've got the heater core lines plumbed through the firewall. I put that block right there to kind of hold it up. Normally this would be like a two-person job, but the trusty block has got me. So now in here, all I got to do is line up these bolt holes and pull it through. All right, I've got one started, so now I just got to pull them through and tighten them all. Cool. I've got it all mounted up in here. I just have that one heater core hose right there, and then this is good. Of course, I've got all these lines, or these, they're not even lines, these cables right here. There's three of them, and these three cables right here go to the heater control, which will be right here in this rectangle right here. That hose is giving me problems. It seems super old and very spongy. When I'm trying to hook it up to the heater core, it's actually just punching holes into the rubber, like through here this way. So I went and grabbed some more of this heater core hose, and I'm just going to change the whole hose while I'm at it. So that heater core hose comes out of that hole right there, and it goes through here. It sits on this little bracket by the choke, and then it comes up right here. So it's this hose right here, and it actually sits right up there, but I've got it running right here. Yeah. I made it to the shop this morning, and I'm going to finish what I was doing yesterday. I'm going to change this heater core hose right here, and then I'll be done with this part of it. I'll move to the inside. I got to put the door panels on. So I've got some paper that needs to go right there, the factory paper that we got to glue in, and then the panel's going to go on and all that stuff. And after I get this heater core stuff done and put the AC back in, this should be ready for carpet and seats. I'm going to start with taking this hose clamp off, and this is going to be fun. Somehow I got to get that back on there. It was kind of a pain getting that on there with that much room, so we'll see about this one right here. I pulled the hose clamp back far enough to get to the end of the heater core tube, and I just sliced this very carefully. So now when I pull it out from the firewall, this will slide off of here easily without having to wiggle it or spin it, twist it, any kind of stuff. Now with that sliced off in the front, well, not really the front, but under the dash, now I could pull this out of here no problem. Just a little bolt where the heater core tube was. Okay. Nice. So then this part was the only part I had a problem with getting it out of there. So that's going to go, and the rest of this is going to go. Yesterday I was told that there, back in the 60s, used to be a little valve right here to turn the heater core off during the summertime. This one has been replaced with a pipe. So I'm just going to replace the whole hose. This is what that media blaster, or the soda blaster, did yesterday to this grill. And this grill was painted black over this brushed aluminum, and over the years it started lifting off in some spots, so it didn't look too good. But that media blaster with the baking soda in it, it's less abrasive than sand, so it actually still looks really good. The only problem with this though is we're looking for the pony for this one. So this one's got these two brackets right here. There's 4 holes in it. Well, those 2 holes too, but there's 1 hole there, there, and there. That is for this style. See how there's 4 there? This one is the one we have for this one. It's got the ones like here, 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 and here. But the problem with this is this one has these little wings on it, which is what we need. That one doesn't have one. These little wings on here, they're for these right here. So those little pieces will slide into here. So this sits kind of like that. And then that is for the GT fog lights. So when the corral sits right here with the horse in it, the GT fog lamp will sit right there and right there. That's what we need these for. But we need the one with the configuration where it's got the 4 bolts set up like that and not like that. This one's for the gray 65 that's at paint right now. Alright, I've got those hoses secured on this side. I'm going to go finish this up at the engine bay, and then I got to come back and figure all this out. So I got to plug this in, but it looks like this plug from the dash is plugged into, I don't even know what this is. Might be from the old heater box, might just be what that goes to. But that's the only wiring here. I need something that plugs into here from the harness, so I'm going to find that. And then I'm going to put all of this back together and put the AC box back under here. Before I do all of that though, today I have to take this right here. There are 3 of these. This one's for defrost. There are a couple where these 2 lines go up on top of the heater box here. So I've got them labeled. One of them is for temperature control. So this opens a flap between the heater core and ambient air. It determines how hot or cold you want the air. This one right here is for a vent. So this one opens the vent straight from the outside air to inside. And then that one you can open this door right here. So usually that's what that's for. There's an area cut out on the dash right there so that it doesn't hit. And I got to clean this off. There was a foam piece on here, it looks like. So I'll clean that and see if we have one to put back on there. And then I'll rewire all this, of course. I'm going to run these hoses on here, which are right there and right there. Those come out right there and right there. And then we've got a speaker to put into right there before I put the AC back on. Because once the AC goes on, it kind of takes up all the space in this whole area between here, and we can't really get back in there for anything. Alright, the heater core hoses are ran now. Looks alright. Alright, so I figured out everything that's going on underneath the dash on this passenger side right here. And I figured out everything that's going on with that plug. All the ones that I reset back here behind the dash to just little clips that go onto there. And then also this plug here for this heater control. Also this plug here, which goes to this heater control right here. And this one is going in to replace this one. This one is still alright, I guess, but it's got the vintage look going, and it still works, but new paint, new parts. So I've got to pull these little pieces off of here, and I need to use them for here. I have to pull these little cables through this hole right here, and I was going to put that in right now, but then I realized I got to put this one in first. And before I put this one in, I got to put that one in. I've got this situated. This was put in already, but it wasn't lined up right, so I've got it lined up right. So now all these little bolt holes line up right. Same with that side and all around. I'm looking for the screws for this one, and there are a lot of new screws and stuff for this Mustang. And we've got everything from like these door panel clips to like these are for the wheel well trims, little chrome pieces, hood hinges, backup light bezels. I like these keys. Check out these Mustang keys with the pony on them. Oh, those are cool. But yeah, these are all new. So these are for the trunk, those little rubber bumper pieces for them. Oh, this is cool. Check this out, from 1966. There's some new ones also, not that one specifically, but things for the door and the engine. These are from Ford, so these are awesome. Okay, well, I found these little pieces. These are the new ones that go on here, which would be these pieces. This is kind of cool. This is made to look like the one that came in the original 66s, but this one wires up to modern stuff, and it's got Bluetooth, microphone, all that cool stuff. All right, I've got this little bracket built. So now, when this comes up here, this will come up here. Cool. This looks pretty good. The knobs are in the bag. I'm going to put those on when I'm done with all of this. I've got all the brackets and everything done in here, so this is not going to move around. And now that I've got this in right there, now I can put in this heater control. But I'm going to go to lunch first. Yeah, now it looks good. I like it. And when this turns on, you'll see the different numbers come through here. So these little white numbers are just so it has a vintage look. This actually lights up into a screen, and the numbers will pop up behind there. I have made it back to the shop. So I'm going to get back on this Mustang. I still got to put in all the cables and stuff for the heater controls. Alright, I got these hooked up, and I've got them run now all the way up through the dash where they need to be run. And they come out right there and right there. Okay, after I got this installed in the dash, I have been running the cables. I tried to run this defrost while it was still hooked up to the box, but this cable's too short and it's too stiff in one direction to try to turn it the way I needed to, because I have to insert the wire into these little pieces here, and there's a little tiny hole in it. So the wire goes in and there's a little bend in them, and it slides into there, and then you flap them over and they'll screw onto this piece right here sticking up. But this one right here is for the one that's way down here, right here, and this one will go to the next one down. The first one was way down there. That's the one I got done with. That one right there. So I'm going to put these two back on right here, and those two are these two. So we're working on the Bronco today. We're gonna change this because that's not the right one. Also adding a steering stabilizer to this and fixing a fuel leak right there. That's the main reason why it's on the lift. Upon further inspection, I'm going to change this whole line. So with this pump right here, we're going to delete that pump right there and run this line straight to the carb from right here. Alright, this one's disconnected. Now I'm going to run this line to here and straight to the bottom. Alright, done with the fuel line. I'm going to change these out now.
Unlike, hey, I ordered the crab.
Yes, that is crab, C-R-A-B. It stands for carrot, rice, and broccoli.
Chase your dream out, live your dream, and I'm living mine, Mom. Living mine. Speed.
It's running all right. Yesterday I was on the Bronco, working on that the whole day. So today I'm going to finish what I was doing in here. Okay, I finally have all those secured, and now everything works fine without popping off of there. So all these cables are moving okay when I move these in and out. So all these work fine. Now I have to re-hook everything back up to this heater box. I didn't put this back up under the dash. I had to pull it back off again. Normally I can slide the cables on here and then just secure them, but since these were the original ones from '66, it had a little metal cap on here that was keeping it from popping off on here, on all three of them actually. That one right there and this one right here were the ones I was having a problem with. That one was already completely busted, so this one wasn't even on there when I got to it. Now I think I've got everything hooked up right. Let's check it out. So defrost. Nice. Okay. Temperature. And heat. On and vent. Cool. And everything is lined up right, so it's not one of those weird setups that's got one kind of hanging down below the rest of them. Those are when they're all closed, and that is when they're all open. Now I got to put this heater box back up under the dash. All right, I've got all that secured, got everything good to go. Now I'm going to put these screws in here and secure this glove box. I found the screws for the glove box. We're at the shop on Saturday. I'm here with Mama Bear and Michael. The other two little dudes didn't want to come with us. Michael's going to work on their go-kart. I'm going to get the Jeep in here on the lift real quick. That way, when I'm working on the S15 outside, when I get to this one, it'll be cooled down because I got to do some exhaust stuff. So I'm going to get on the lift and let it cool down right now. We're over here checking this out. This is the little 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that came with it. This one's fuel injected. This would be pretty much not even worth my time. So I was planning on getting this out today, but we'll see how much work I get done. The motor mounts for these, they sell square body S10 motor mounts for the LS engine, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I'm definitely going to need a bigger radiator than this. Check this out, Mama.
It's so little. I'm looking at everything and it's small. Look at even this is tiny.
Yep.
The little steering
Water pump's
column,
tiny, steering shaft's tiny.
the steering shaft, everything is small. Can we put this in a go-kart? Just kidding.
Yeah, we'll put it in the go-kart. This comes with a 4-speed manual. So I'm going to take this out. I want to put either a 5-speed, 6-speed, or I guess I was going to say 4L60, which we have at the house already, but I just remembered there's a 6L80 here at the shop that just needs to be rebuilt. And the bed doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look like it was used for too much work. A couple of dents, but they look like this, so they shouldn't even be that hard to take out of the bed. Tailgate, I'm gonna have to redo though. I'm either gonna weld this up or just get a new tailgate. Most likely I'm gonna get a new tailgate, but I want these classic GMC stickers on it too. That's gonna be sick. Probably gonna roll pan this. Probably fix these corners. Definitely roll pan in the back. And I want to take about, how many inches do you think out of this, Mama? I want to take like 8 inches out of this thing. Maybe 10.
I'm gonna go help Michael get started on the go-kart.
I think the 6 liter is going to fit nice in there. That's cool. This little chick, she's all just trying to hide behind you.
She's scared.
Okay, now that I've got this up, looks like everything's all right. Seems like this leak has stopped. This leak used to be from the power steering pump. Oh, nope, it's still leaking. Oh, that sucks. I need a new power steering pump. Found our exhaust leak. Found what I need in the drawer. Michael got this whole thing cleaned up pretty good. We started wiring this in, and I've got a couple of things that I need to get first. So I need to get 2 end pieces, one for each of these, and we basically got this wired in. This is the ground. We'll ground this to the frame, and then we got to ground the battery to the frame as well. And then this goes to the starter solenoid, this goes to the positive side of the battery, and the ignition's already hooked up. Alright you guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you again for stopping by and checking it out, hanging out with me for a few minutes. You guys have an awesome rest of your day, and be careful whatever you're working on. Later.